Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Nitai Gaura Haribol Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol Nitai Gaura Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Radha Giridhari Shri Radha Jaya Radha Giridhari Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadraya Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Madheva Baladeva Jaya Subhadraya Jaya Jaya Giri Govardhan 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 Jaya Govardhan Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Shiva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Nitai Gaura Haribal 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 Nitai Gaura Haribal Nitai Gaura Haribal Haribal Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol Nitai Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Grathara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai ISKCON San Diego Yatra Ki Jai. The Divine Worship Shri Gaura Nitai, Shri Radha Giridhari, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Shri Girish Govardhan Ki Jai. His Divine Grace Abhaicharan Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to everybody. Welcome to Bhagavatam class today. Thank you for joining. Asking blessings from seniors. Dravida Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Janada Prabhu. So we're reading today from Canto 6, Chapter 5, Text 14. Let's start with invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashta Prayesha Bhadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Shinvatam Svakatha Krishnam Punya Shravanam Kirtanam Hridyantosta Bhadrini Vidhunosis Hridsatam. Glory translation, Sanskrit translation prepared by His Divine Grace Abhaicharan Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nana Rupatmano Buddhi Nana Rupatmano Buddhi Nana Rupatmano Buddhi Svairiniva Gunanvitam Tan Nishtan Agatasyeha Kim Asat Karma Bhig Bhavet Nanaro Patmano Buddhi Svairiniva Gunanvitam Tanishtham Agatasyeha Kim Asad Karma Bhir Bhavet. Please recite Sanskrit. Anarupatmano Buddhi Nanarupatmano buddhi
Savarniva gunanvita Annishthamagatasyeha Kimmasat karma virbhave
Nanarupatmano buddhi
Nanarupatmano buddhi
Sarvaniva gunanvita
Tanishtamagatasyeha
Kim asat karma virbhave
Nanarupatmano buddhi
Nanarupatmano buddhi
Sarvaniva gunanvita
Savarniva gunanvita
Tanishtamagatasyeha
Tanishtamagatasyeha
Kimmasat karma virbhave
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Narada Muni. Oh, one verse. Okay. Nana, various. Rupa, who has forms of dresses. Atmana, of the living entity. Buddhi, the intelligence. Svarini, a prostitute who freely decorates herself with different types of clothes and ornaments. Iva, like Guna Anvita, endowed with a mode of passion, and so on. Tat Nishtham, the cessation of that. Agatasya, of one who has not obtained. Iha, in this material world. Kim asat karma bhi bhavet. What is the use of performing temporary fruitive activities? Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Narada Muni had described a woman who is a professional prostitute. The Haryashvas understood the identity of this woman. Mixed with the mode of passion, the unsteady intelligence of every living entity is like a prostitute who changes dresses just to attract one's attention. If one fully engaged in temporary fruitive activities, not understanding how this is taking place, what does he actually gain? Prepared by Srila Prabhupada. A woman who has no husband declares herself independent, which means that she becomes a prostitute. A prostitute generally dresses herself in various fashions intended to attract a man's attention to the lower part of her body. Today, it has become a much advertised fashion for a woman to go almost naked, covering the lower part of her body only slightly, in order to draw the attention of a man to her private parts for sexual enjoyment. The intelligence engaged to attract a man to the lower part of the body is the intelligence of a professional prostitute. Similarly, the intelligence of a living entity who does not turn his attention toward Krishna or the Krishna consciousness movement simply changes dresses like a prostitute. What is the benefit of such foolish intelligence? One should be intelligently conscious in such a way that he need no longer change from one body to another. Karmists change their professions at any moment, but the Krishna conscious person doesn't change his profession. For his only profession is to attract the attention of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna mantra and living a very simple life, without following daily changes of fashion. Now Krishna consciousness movement fashionable person are taught to adopt one fashion, the dress of Vaishnava with a shaved head and tilak. They are taught to be always clean in mind, dress and eating in order to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. What is the use of changing one's dress, sometimes wearing long hair and long beard, and sometimes dressing otherwise? This is not good. One should not waste his time in such frivolous activities. One should always be fixed in Krishna consciousness and take the cure of devotional service with a firm determination. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gena Gena Chalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Pishtam Stapitam Yena Budale Swam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahaganarathunatham vidam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadhutam parijanam sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganam Lalitam Shri Vishakam Vitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priyam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubheva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtabhile Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Так правиштагмачам вам прасуптам сандживанянти кила шакти дарам суданам аням шахастам чернам шаванам савани пранам намо Бхагавате Пурушая Тубхям Дургам Патим Дася Скала Падарматри Гудуши Крипая Синаксанга Санталам Банам Гураве Гуру Чандруши Аткаятала Шри Кришна Кришна Бхактяя Тадбхактяя Намо Намаха Адантастринам Датайри Даньяшки Пунах Пунах Шимад Рупам Падам Баджан Брусьям Джанмаджан Мани Ташам Садам Юктанам Баджада Пидипуракам Дами Будхилам Таминам Панчитай Кришна Шакти Винахи Тара Праватана Калакалара Дарма Кришна Нама Санкиртана Исая Прасада Межна Писарва Садьяги Нарвада Сичтани Дива Май Бхагаван Сампрасида. Hare Krishna. So a little bit background of this story. Here is a story of Narada Muni, who told this story, allegorical story, to Haryashvas, the sons of Prajapati Daksha. And he explained about a woman who is a professional prostitute. And Haryashvas, they've been naturally endowed with intellect, with intelligence. They identified that woman with intelligence, with a buddhi. There are two types of intelligence. One is material, another one is spiritual intelligence. It's called buddhi. Material intelligence always contaminated with the mode of passion, therefore covered by lust, and also overly attached to the object of the senses, and irresolute, indeterminate. So Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, he explained this progression, or let's say regression. He said, Kama krutha Kroha bhavati samoha samoha smriti vipramaha smriti. Sorry, it's not that one. Kama isha krodha isha raja gunak samudbhavah mahashanach mahapapma vidhi eva isha vairinam. So when we come in contact with a material mode of passion, from that lust is born, and lust is considered to be all-devouring enemy of the living entity, and it transformed into wrath or anger. Ordinary living entities, they're observing sense objects, they naturally become attached to, and by become attached to sense objects, they create lust. From lust, anger arises, right? So Krishna explained it. Dhayatu vishanayam pumsam sangasti shupanjayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho bijayate. Anger, then anger comes, and anger bewilders us, covers us by, so first of all, delusion. So living entity falls into delusion, and without in delusion state of consciousness, it loses his intellect, his first of all memory. And then by losing memory, so living entity cannot discriminate between good and bad, between right and wrong, or pure and impure, and matter and spirit. Finally, it becomes bewildered. Krodha bhavati samoha samoha smriti vipramaha smriti nashar buddhi nasho buddhi nashar panashiti. So living entity falls into the ditch of material existence, into the dark well of material life. Yes, so this is regression given in Bhagavad Gita. Even a great sage, those who are not in Krishna consciousness, he will become the victim of that lust and mode of passion, and finally he will degrade if he not surrender to Krishna. And that's what we've seen around. And normal people, they cannot discriminate between good and bad. So Vishwanath Chakravarti, in his Madhurya Kadambini, he explained the 4 types of avidya or ignorance. He explained that when we cannot discriminate between good and bad, pure and impure, religion and irreligion, and we take in suffering for pleasure. One of the amazing ones. We take in suffering for pleasure. And of course we take in ourselves for what we are actually. So we accepting ourselves as a bodies. And intellect is considered to be next door neighbor to the soul. And when it's contaminated and bewildered, so naturally such intelligence forces soul to accept false identification with the body and enjoy senses going to the wrong direction. That's living entities, they cannot discriminate between what is good, what is bad, what is bad, what is good, what is a beneficial, what is a wrong for us. And that's what we okay, so yeah, let us explain this more. Rupa Goswami, he explained that intelligence has 2 functions. Their memory and discriminating power. It's called Viveka Shakti. So we can discriminate between different things. And also memory. That's why he said fine discrimination and sharp memory. What's the intelligence? when person could be called intelligent person? When he has fine discrimination and sharp memory. And Kapila Muni, in his Kapila Shiksha, he explained the 5 aspects of buddhi, intelligence. Is anybody knows? 5 different functions of our buddhi. So buddhi is very important in our spiritual life. Is anybody remembers those 5, or even 1 or 2 maybe? So one of them is swapna, or sleeping. It's a function of intellect. It's very important. I see some of the people are picking up on the class because probably didn't have a good sleep today. Good sleeping is very important to make our intelligence is very sharp and concentrated. Otherwise, you can't concentrate on it. You can't make it resolute. So there are 5. It is explained by Kapila Muni. He said, Samshayotha viparyaso nishayat smriti eva sa evacha swapna sa uchate buddhir prithah lakshanam vritah prithah. So lakshanam, 5 lakshanas. Yeah? This is 5 different aspects of intelligence, buddhi. So one is assumption, means doubts. Yeah, actually doubts. So we doubt in things to accept them or not accept, bad things or good for us, or healthy or unhealthy, or spirit or matter. We have to discriminate. This is asamshaya, doubts. So we put on doubts, different things. Asamshaya. No, it's one of the function of intellect, asamshaya. So we doubt in things, we just examining, we analyzing things, right? And the next two, nishaya viparyaso means discriminate. So what is a proper comprehension, what is the wrong comprehension? So discriminating power, it's called viveka shakti. So we examining things. And then swapna intellect and smriti means memory, good memory. And that's why Krishna said, if we delude it, so memory is covered, and then we again fall into, we losing our intelligence, and then we'll again fall into the ditch of dark well of material existence. That's a regression. And yeah, yesterday we went on Harinam with Prabhu, and I just observing those things, what is going on. So we went on the beachfront, and we're doing Harinam. We just met different people. We chanting Hare Krishna, we're dancing, and people just passing by and just looking at us like kind of, what are the guys? They're ridiculous guys. They're dancing, they're entertaining public. What are they doing actually? And people, they were taking us very cheaply, They don't understand what we are doing actually. But what we are doing, we're trying to offer to them precious gift of Krishna consciousness. We try to inspire them for spiritual life, for self-realization, giving them holy name and Srimad Bhagavatam and the association of the devotees. But they were bewildered because they don't have intelligence. They're passing by, they think, we know how to do things, we know how to, accumulate our substantial karmas and so on and so forth. And they just, did not pay any attention, or maybe some of them, they just smile in a polite way, just, like being polite, people, moral. And yes, that's very difficult. It is very difficult because people don't have this discriminating power. And finally, we came to the beach where the seals are laying down on the shore. Seals. Yeah, seals. Yeah, seals and whales. So seals are laid down on the beach, and people observing them with great attention. So we came and we started to loudly chant on the beach. And one guy approached us, and that guy, he was transgender man, you know, like he changed from man to woman. He becomes a woman. I mean, ridiculous kind of appearance with the makeup and, you know, like strong muscles, but try to behave himself in the fashion that he is a woman. So he approached us and he said, "Please stop your loud voice, stop your loud noise. What you doing? So you prevent mother, what is called seal mother, to reach their children, and they're dying. So stop, please stop your loud kirtan." And he tried to help this seals, you know, but he fallen into the hellish condition of life by presenting himself like transgender man, you know. I was shocked. For me, it was like an embodiment of ignorance yesterday. I was shocked. I was thinking, wow. So this is people, those who, you know, like, they can't discriminate things. They can't understand what's going on. And he was trying, kind of insisting, you know, like, stop your loud kirtan. Yeah, that's what the situation in material world, and this is this material intelligence is like professional prostitute, like Narada Muni explains to the Haryashvas. It's always change dresses, like a professional prostitute changes clothes to attract men for her lower part of her body, for sexual intercourse. So in the same way, people in material world, they try to change moods and trends and try to follow the trends of the world. And material world is always changes. So, and they also like a prostitutes, you know, like, because they're not fixed in Krishna consciousness, they're not follow the path of self-realization. Yeah, therefore they're not resolute in their determination. Therefore, Krishna in battlefield, in Bhagavad Gita, he explained to Arjuna. He said, "You have to rise above. You have to get up and give up your ignorance, give up your sleepiness. You have to pick up the sword of knowledge and cut off your ignorance and fight." Right? That's what he said. So we have to shake up this ignorance and sleepiness, which covering us, and we have to discriminate things, what is beneficial for our spiritual advancement and what is unfavorable. Like it is saying that there are two first steps in the spiritual life: accept what is favorable for spiritual life and reject what is unfavorable. Anukulyasa sankalpa pratikulyasa varjanam is a part of Sharanagati, part of surrender to Krishna. So we follow this and we accept things which are favorable, right? Yes, Krishna explained further in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. You have to fix up your intelligence upon me, and you have to control your senses and restrain your senses from the object of the senses. And such a man who controls his intelligence and fixes his consciousness upon Krishna, he is considered to be a man of resolute intelligence, or person who is in Krishna consciousness. He's called Sthita Pragya. So he's very, it's like a dhira, yeah. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, so you have to connect through the Buddhi Yoga, right, to Krishna. And he explained, Tisham satatam yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam payantite. By serving Krishna with love and devotion, priti, bhajatam priti purvakam. So first of all, service. Then Krishna, dadami buddhi, he gives intelligence, right? How to surrender, how to come to him finally. Dadami buddhi yogam. So we can connect to Krishna through intelligence, through the buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga, first of all, buddhi, then bhakti yoga, right? So we have to discriminate things. We have to worship Krishna with intelligence. So we have to connect to him through buddhi. Yoga means connection, right? So to come to Krishna through the intelligence, through the spiritualized or purified intelligence. So therefore, first buddhi yoga, then bhakti yoga, finally. So we can become pure devotees without proper discrimination and proper focus on the Krishna. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. So buddhi yoga means renunciation through the wisdom, when we renounce things which are not favorable to Krishna consciousness, right? Anyway, and Krishna continues further. In Bhagavatam, it is explained that how we can get rid of, how we can rise above this bodily conception of life by using bhakti or buddhi yoga. And Bhagavatam says, Bidyante hridaya granhish chiyante sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani dristvaya vatmanishvare. Here. Bhagavatam explained that this Hridaya Granthi is not in the heart, can be pierced by this transcendental knowledge. Bidyante Hridaya Granthish. And also we can cut off into pieces all these misgivings and doubts. And we can terminate the fruitive activities by seeing the self as a person. Like if we understand spiritual knowledge, Drishtvaya Bhatmanishvare, if we come to the realizing of our spiritual identity, we can pierce this not in the heart, Hridaya Granthi. So we can separate ourselves from the subtle body, from the ahankara, from the buddhi and manasa, from these three elements of subtle body, which is explained in the Bhagavatam. So anyway, that's a part of spiritual realization. So through the buddhi yoga, through the proper discrimination, through the uplifting our consciousness, we can be free from the doubts, from false ego, and from the unsubstantial karmas which we accumulated in the course of our material life. So that's what we offer to the society. So we want to uplift the consciousness of people, and through this transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge, Divya Gyan, this is a special gift or precious gem of Krishna consciousness which we can offer, which we can give to this society, and inspire them to follow on the path of self-realization. Srila Prabhupada called our program, Prabhupada called it cultural program for respiritualization of entire human society. So we want to uplift people by inspire them to think of Krishna and live simply. That's what Shastra says. Smarta vyog satatam Vishnu, vismarta vyog nachatuchit. So we have to think of Krishna and we have to avoid forgetfulness of God. And this is Krishna conscious culture, or our cultural program. So if we present in our culture through the dress, through the particular association and elements of culture, all our attributes of our culture. So that's that which help us do not forget Krishna. And also our direct angas or methods of devotional service help us to concentrate on Krishna and always remember Him. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Vandanam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanevedanam. Anyway, so in this way we can help the human society. To uplift the consciousness from the bodily platform of life. Okay, anyway, I just forgot to say something, just a little bit lost. Maybe we can stop here and I just invite you for the questions and answers. And does anybody has any questions? Yes, Prabhu.
It's not a question, it's just a comment on that verse you quoted. Vidyate Vidya Grantis. You quoted that verse.
Yeah.
So we study the original that Prabhupada wrote, that he published in India. It's clear that what that last phrase means, Drishta evatmanishvare, what he intended by that was one sees oneself and one's master. It's not see the self as the master. This caused a lot of confusion because the self is with a small s. The self is me. I mean, it's not Krishna. If you keep reading, the first line of the purport says when one gets the previous verse, Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam, when you get scientific knowledge of the Absolute, one sees oneself simultaneously. And so that last phrase is one sees oneself and one's master. Just let you know for future reference. Hare Krishna.
You mean oneself and master? So oneself is the soul and super soul.
You see yourself in your original form, and you see the master within oneself. Actually, Atmani.
That means Krishna, super soul.
Yeah, the master definitely.
Yeah.
Probably the word is Ishvara, and probably in this particular case he called it the dominating factor. But later in the purport, he says one sees the master, one sees the Lord in the heart. You see the Krishna within. It came up earlier in the series of verses. I think Tachadhyana Muniyo Jnanavaidagayo Pashantyatmani Chatmanam. Pashantyatmani Chatmanam. Within the self, Atmani, you see the Lord within the heart. But this last one also, the way Prabhupada translated, you see oneself in your real form, as it's the Sarup Siddhi, and you see the master.
Thank you. Yeah, I just brought up this verse, just try to illustrate how we can separate ourselves from the subtle body. There are three elements of subtle body: hankara, buddhi, and mind. So, chidyante hridaya granthish, that means grantha, or not in the heart. It's like a hankara, we cut off, we pierce this ahankara through the transcendental knowledge. Then chidente assumption. Assumption means element of buddhi, so misgivings. We cut off the pieces to the pieces. This assumption, this misgivings and doubts. And then kshente chasya karmani, that means we get rid of karma, terminated karma, chain of fruitive activity, that means in the mind. So there's three elements of mind, buddhi and ahankara. So by seeing ourselves and Master, Krishna, through the upliftment of transcendental knowledge. Yeah, something like that. Thank you. Yes?
Which body will we see?
Say again, I didn't catch.
Which body inside will we see?
See oneself. Someone sees oneself.
You can see yourself, real self, like spiritual self, yourself as a form, as a spiritual form, through the process of self-realization. You understand you're not this body, and this is first step in spiritual life. This body is like a biological machine, so you're temporarily sitting in this body, but you're not this body, right? You understand it? But you don't know who you are actually at the present moment, so you have to figure out through the practice of spiritual life, and then you understand. Then you come. This is advanced level when you see yourself in a spiritual form, and you understand who you are actually. Your name, your form, your service, your dress, whatever. Spiritual, I mean, not material. So this is spiritual advancement. And that's what we want, actually, understand who we are, actually. Because now we're in a position of madmen. We don't know who we are. We don't know what to do and where we're going. Actually, maybe we know where we're going because we are practicing spiritual life, but basically people they don't know where they're going, what's their destination, final destination. Yeah, what's their goal of life. Even modern philosophy, modern philosophy does not give any clear goal of life, actually. They don't know what is the goal of life. Philosophers, thinkers, big-time persons, very intelligent people, they don't understand what's the goal of life. Simple thing, you see. It's just, it's like for new Bhakti, on a Bhakti program, everyone knows. But they don't know. And they claim to be very intelligent people, very advanced. So, Prabhu, to see yourself means to chant Hare Krishna and eat prasadam, and then you realize yourself gradually. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Oh, online? So I have to ask them. Anyone online has any questions? Hari Hari Bol? Not everything is clear. Any comments, any reflections maybe? Or everyone slept well today? Strengthen your intelligence through the sleeping process. Not in class, yeah. But you can sleep on the class. It's also authorized process because it's some story there in the Puranas that some sage he gave a curse or blessing, I don't know, to that Nidra Devi. She resides on the class of Bhagavatam. So she's always on the class of Bhagavatam. That's why sometimes devotees are sleeping on the class, and it's considered to be authorized. No problem. But when you sleep on the class, don't snore too loud, otherwise you wake up your person next to you. Okay, time is over, yeah? So we can stop here. Thank you for tolerating me today. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Shri Radha Giridhari ki Jai, Gaura Premanande. Hare Go.